It's the hardest, highest paying job in the world, or it's the easiest, lowest paying job in the world. But again, you can't control your hours, right? Everybody gets into real estate because they want to control their hours, but then all their hours are available for work.
Hey everybody, it's Kathy Byrnes here with Real Estate Riches, and today I have an associate of mine, Josh Finigan here of the Finigan Group, and I wanted to have him on because he's been doing something pretty spectacular and you're going to want to learn about it. Hey buddy.
Hey, how's it going? Appreciate
Great.
you having me today.
Yeah, I'm excited to have you on here. You're down in the Charlotte, are you in the Maxwell or Waxhaw area?
So, no, we're just outside of Uptown now on Wilkinson
Okay.
Boulevard. Bought a place in downtown Huntersville, and I'm currently renovating it and going through the process of changing it residential to commercial. So hopefully, sometime in the future, next quarter, we'll be able to move up to Huntersville.
Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
So you bought a commercial building and you're able to
residential,
residential, but it's in a
switching it.
commercial area?
Yeah, it's in an overlay district, so it's within a quarter mile of downtown Huntersville.
Mm.
So the zoning allows you to change the use. So we're not changing like the full zoning of it. We're just changing the use from residential to commercial. So I bought it as a residential. Now we're going through the fun process of dealing with the city and making it ADA compliant, all that fun stuff.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, well, that's cool. Well, that's how you grow your wealth, right?
yep.
Yes, very smart. You're a smart cookie. I like you a lot.
Thank
So,
you.
so
That's sweet.
since how long have you been in real estate?
So I got in real estate in 2016, moved from Charleston to Charlotte in 2019.
Okay, because I met you through our mutual friend John Padone, who brought you
Mm,
to EXP, and you just kind of went on and charged through and just built your business on steroids. And I see you all over on video on all the different platforms. So tell us
mm.
how that whole thing started and how it's benefited you.
Yeah. So video is huge, definitely in how people interact in just the internet nowadays. 81% of time on internet is through videos.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when I moved up here, which has been a huge staple for my business, I needed to get business fast when I moved from Charleston to Charlotte. So the what I focused on was expireds and for sale by owners. And
Okay.
so that has been the number one lead source for me for pretty much since 2019. So I moved here. This is the first year YouTube will have surpassed expired listings.
Mm.
And the reason that's important is I was able to kind of build the processes and systems with the expired listings while working on YouTube, because YouTube's not an overnight thing by
Yeah.
any means. Been doing it now for 5 years. 2023, the closed volume for YouTube was $130,000. 24, I think it was around $9,000 or $9 million. Then 25, we're going to end the year this year around 18 million.
Wow.
So seeing a huge hockey stick exponential growth in the past couple of years,
Yeah.
but for the first 2 or 3 years, we literally made nothing on it. A lot of trial and error and kind of learning what worked and what didn't work, but I still had that expired business
Mm-hmm.
that helped build the systems and processes we had while we were building the other avenue.
And did you do those expired and for sale by owners like a Mike Ferry scenario where you're dialing for dollars?
100%.
Okay. I never did that. Did John Padone teach you that or did you just already know that?
I kind of got into the business doing that. So I did it
Hmm.
down in Charleston. Then when I moved up here, when you need to get closings quick, right? You ask a simple question: how can I find somebody that's looking to make a move now, right? Expired listings and for sale by owners have both raised their hand saying, I'm looking to make a move now. Expired listings said, I tried, popped off the market, right? I still want to sell. For sale by owners say, I think I could do it myself, or I want to sell, I just don't really know the process. So both of them
Hmm.
have already raised their hand. So it's a way to literally get business immediately. Like I moved up here in April of 2019. My first closing was in May, just by
Wow.
calling. Yeah,
Wow.
expires and FSBOs.
Well, I used to sit next to John when we were both at Keller Williams, and that's how I met him. And he was just calling like crazy. But he had a little room that he would go into, and the guy was loud as
Mm-hmm.
could be. And he would just be in there like at 8 o'clock in the morning, and he'd be on that phone. And in my mind, I'm thinking, oh man, they're going to be ticked off. You're calling them at 8 o'clock. And he said, no, that's when they're
Mm-hmm.
up, and other agents are going to be calling. So I want to be first in line. And he had a way about his style, which you clearly must as well, where he moved them through it. Obviously, he got hung up on different times, but he knew how to help meet their pain points and move them through it
Mhm.
to where they were comfortable enough to have the meeting. And that's exactly what you did, it sounds like.
Yeah. And people are upset. People are angry when you call them. That's fine. But they still have needs and they just don't know how to achieve their goal, which is selling their home, right? And
Hmm.
you're able to help people in very particular circumstances, right? Where they wanted it sold or needed it sold a couple months ago, a year ago, and it didn't, right? So you're actually able to help a lot of people out through the process. That's actually how John and I met. We competed quite a few times on expired
Oh,
listings. So that's how we kind of were acquainted back in the day.
so how do you get that person who's ticked off, doesn't want to talk to you?
Meet them where they are. A lot of people think that when you're on the phone, matching and mirroring and tonality and building a presence isn't as important. But you only have 3 seconds when you're talking to somebody on the phone to for them to know exactly who you are in their mind, right? So
Hmm.
you want to match and mirror, match your tonality, and come from curiosity and know your scripts, obviously, but come from curiosity and figure out what happened, what are they looking to accomplish, and how you can help them accomplish their goals. That's pretty much
So
it.
you're a pretty big believer then in scripts?
Yeah.
Yeah. And did you just practice them in the mirror? Or did you have a buddy?
Role played a lot. I don't do it as much anymore. Went through Bold, like on Keller Williams. They do a
Mm.
lot of stuff on expired listings. Mike Ferry has a lot of expired listing things. Watch Colton Lindsay, Derek Lipsky. They have a lot of YouTube videos of like cold calls and stuff like that. The role playing with people all across the United States to hone your craft and kind of figure out what works best for you. Now, the script that I have is like a hodgepodge of a bunch of scripts that I've just had over time.
Hmm.
And I just found it works best for me. But when you first start, you want to mirror success. So find a script that one of the big guys, like you Google Mike Ferry expired script, you're going to find one and just stick with that script and master it. Even if you're not in love with it, you want to master it because it gives you a roadmap of how you get from the initial conversation to the meeting, right? Once you master a script where it doesn't actually sound like a script anymore,
Right.
then you can move on to another script and move on to another one, right? Where I think Jeff Glover says, and I'm going to be incorrect on the number of times, but he says to internalize a script, you have to write the entire script out like 10 to 15 times every single day for like a month.
Wow.
Legitimately write it out. So you have to know it like the back of your head. So like at the point now, I don't have scripts in front of me, which you should. I used to have like a mirror in front of me, a script board in front of me, but like I don't have that anymore. It's not good. It's just internalized in my head. I say the same thing every time, and I know what I'm going to say next.
Hmm.
Right. So I know where I want to take the conversation. I know the path I want to go down. And obviously it's going to change based on what they say, how they say it, what's important to them. But I have a guideline and a roadmap that I'm following every conversation.
So in this crazy market that we've had past 2 years or so, have you found it very difficult to get those expireds and for sale by owners even willing to talk?
No, it's easier, which would back to you mentioned John's point, right? It's easier if you're the first person.
Yep.
If you're the first person calling, they may be more receptive to talking to you than if you're the 15th person calling. Because sometimes if you call like in the afternoon, they may just be peeved and just hang up the phone. But it's also when you connect with them. Where I've had people where I literally probably called them 20 times, and then I just so happened to have called them one time. He's been expired for 2 or 3 weeks, and they just so happened to pick up the phone for the very first time, and
Mm.
they just so happened to be in a good mood for that time, and then you're able to have a conversation with them, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the more you do, the more you do. It's all a numbers game in expired listings. You can break it down to you do this many dials, you're going to have this many contacts, which means you're going to have this many appointments set, which means you're going to meet this many people, which means you're going to sign this many people and close this many people. And it's a very easy structure,
Yeah.
right? So the more
Yeah.
dials you make, the more homes you close at the end of the day.
Would you say that you're mostly a listing agent?
100% listing agent. I do have a buyer agent Brody on my team, and we're onboarding Carson right now. So he's a buyer agent in training technically. So he's going through a 30, 60, 90, which is a Keller Williams kind of
Mm-hmm.
model where
Mm-hmm.
you have goals of the first 30 days you want to achieve this, the next 30 days you want to achieve that, the next 30 days you want to achieve that. You achieve that and go through the process, then he'll be full-fledged buyer agent Q1 the next year.
Oh, wow. So this is a training program that you do within your own team.
Yeah.
Okay.
First time we're going through it with our team. Because Brody was my videographer. So that was
Oh,
a little bit of a different process
yeah.
onboarding him.
So now that you're doing a lot of these YouTube videos, you're seeing great success with them. I got to feel like you invested a lot of money into that.
Hmm. Yeah. Because I did a first few myself, and I'm not a videographer. I'm horrible at it, and I think I may still have some up. Like when I first started, they weren't good quality. Quality wasn't there, and I had no idea what I was doing. So they're bad. But the more you do, the better you get, right?
Hmm.
But I quickly realized that don't. I'm not good at shooting them. I don't want to shoot them, and I don't want to edit them because they take way too long. So I hired a videographer pretty early on,
Hmm.
before I had any success with YouTube at all. I hired a videographer to do the videos for me, and it got a lot simpler then.
Yeah. Well, I think it goes back to do what you're good at, and
Hmm.
um, and so you can focus in on what you excel at, and let somebody else do what they're good at, and you'll both succeed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So this year's been a pretty good year for you, right?
Yeah, we'll close the year just above 56 million, 101 homes sold.
Yeah, that's freaking amazing. When I pulled up
Thank
your
you.
numbers, I'm like, we had a new software within EXP, and you could ask it like, give me a list of all the different agents in my organization, and give me a printout of their different results for the year. I thought I was
Hmm.
making mistakes when I saw yours. That's why I sent you that text. I'm like, holy cow, that was amazing. And how many people you just had you and your videographer, who's now your buyer's agent?
Yeah, me and Brody were the
That's
two
it.
practicing agents this year. Yeah, you get to control your hours, which again, this is a business where you can make. It's the hardest, highest paying job in the world, or it's the easiest, lowest paying job in the world. But again, you can control your hours, right? Everybody gets into real estate because they want to control their hours, but then all their hours are available for work. So you just got to time block. And I'm a big believer in time blocking your calendar for business, right? But
Mhm.
also for pleasure. Just making sure this is the day that I'm out, block it on your calendar. This is what I'm doing. I try to take at least one day off a week, but we work a little bit more, but I love it.
Yeah. Well, that always helps, right? And you've got
Yeah.
little ones, and is your wife's not involved in your business though, right?
Not as much anymore because we have a 4-year-old and almost a 2-year-old. She handles our rental properties still. So she
Oh.
does a lot of that, and she's kind of like a team mom, kind of doing some of the back stuff, some of the more creative items, like if we have an event, anything planning on that end, like gifts,
Hmm.
stuff like that for
Yeah,
clients.
yeah, yeah.
So like Care Bear team mom.
Oh, that's cool. So you
Yeah.
also have personally real estate investments. Is that what you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah, but you're not doing
Got a few.
property management in your business.
No,
Oh, okay,
no,
good.
no, no. I don't know why anybody does that. I'm sorry for any property managers out there. Not.
I don't either. It's insane to me. Well, this has been amazing to learn. I did a lot of expireds back in 2008, 9, and 10, but
Hmm.
I went and knocked on the doors, and
Hmm.
because there were so many of them, and what I looked forward to was the time that this was the third time that they missed. And now I would
Hmm.
really want those people because they were really hungry to finally get it done. And now they were really realistic about the price that it needed to go at because they've been
Hmm.
beat up so bad, and they were just trying to live in the 2006 and 7 price point. And
Hmm.
they were insistent that they were going to sell it at that and they were not going to lose all this money. They never really made that money because it was inflated. And so,
Yeah.
do you find that the pricing on some of these properties to be, you're fighting with the seller on that?
It's all about helping him identify where he needs to be in terms of price point. So now more than previously, obviously the market shifted a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Pricing has become a lot more important of a conversation where, like a lot of times I meet these people and they are technically priced right compared to the closed comps, but not to the active or pending comps, right?
Yeah.
So it is a thing we focus on a lot more, but I focus more on motivation. What's their main point for selling, right? Is it just because they want to get $1 million? If somebody gives them $1 million, they will sell, and if not, then they're going to live in their house for the next 20 years and have no reason to sell. Then, like, I'm not as excited about that one because there's no reason. Like, if they can't get a million, they can't get a million. But the person that needs to move because they've already moved to California, their home sold, they don't live there anymore. They're
Right.
paying two mortgages, they're renting and paying a mortgage. Like people that have a motivation, a reason to move
Mm-hmm.
is like they're going to transact. So I try to find those. Like I focus on new, I focus on qualified, which is like older than 7 days old, because I did broke these numbers down last year with my coach when in Tom Ferry coaching, and I found that like 30% of the listings that I took as far as expireds were within the first, like I took the listing within the first 7 days of it expiring. 30% of them I took within the first, I think it was month or month and a half of expiring.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other 30% was a month and a half plus. So like it was all across the board. And that just goes back to follow up and things like that too. So end all be all, it's about prospecting, right? You're trying to sift through all the data to find the person that has motivation, that's ready, willing, and able to make a move. And then want to connect with them, identify what they're looking to accomplish, and then how we can help them achieve their goals.
What about you just mentioned the guy that was not motivated, our million and a half guy. Would you take that listing?
Usually, and again, a lot of the conversation that we have on the phone, like kind of interviewing them as well. I don't tell them I'm interviewing them. That's kind of
Right.
creepy. But I'm trying to figure out what is their motivation, why they wanted to make a move, what their ideal timeline is. A lot of times, if I can identify that they're just in it for a price or like they're super, super low motivation,
Mhm.
I won't set the appointment. And with that being said, I'm a lot pickier today than I was 3, 4, 5, 7 years ago, right?
Yes.
I used to not care. Like, let's go roll the dice and meet with you in person and let's figure this out. I used to be open to driving up to an hour and a half to an appointment. Nowadays, I'd like to ideally under 45 minutes, right? Ideally, I want to make sure they are ready, willing, and able to buy, right? Their self. So back in the day, like there is a little bit of flexibility where I went on a few appointments where I was like, there's no way I'm going to get this. And then I
Yeah.
get there and I meet the guy and I get the listing, right? So if you're new in the business and you're trying to start with expireds, I'd be more flexible with who you're willing to meet because
Mm-hmm.
what else are you going to do? You have an
Right.
open calendar, free. So do everything. I always tell people number one you should be doing is prospecting. If you're not meeting somebody and you have no business, then be on the phones, right? And
Yeah.
that's the fastest way. And I would say that over YouTube. Like I think YouTube's way of the future. YouTube has surpassed expired listings. The first time this has ever happened to me in a year. Like expired, I've sold 25 homes. YouTube, I've sold 28 homes this year. Like, so it's the first time YouTube's number one. But you're not gonna make money on YouTube the first year you do it, right? If you
Right.
do, then like it's kind of like lucky. Like they always say, which I don't do farming and like mailers and things. I know realtors that do, and they pretty much say if you get something in the first 6 months of doing a mailer, it's lucky, it's cool, like, but
Yeah.
you should not expect it.
No,
So that's kind of my thought process too. Where expires, you can literally start today and get a listing and
I
get
love
it sold
that.
in a week. So
And also YouTube, like you said, it takes a while to get your rhythm down. Also, new realtors don't necessarily have the budget for a videographer. So they do just like
mhm.
you did, where they start out doing it themselves. It's not as good. It doesn't get the draw. Your channel's not new. YouTube isn't even sending you anything your way. So, but now I'll bet you YouTube really stays on top for you because you're seasoned at
Mhm.
it. You're really good at it. And you've got a history there with it.
Yeah. It's when that's to the point you don't need a professional videographer. No matter what you do, you can go hire Martin Scorsese or and like somebody to go shoot your first video. The very first video you post on YouTube is probably going to get no traction whatsoever.
Right.
It can, but you have to know exactly what you're doing. So like not many people are going to see it. So why not just go ahead and shoot them yourself? Do something, and you could do both. I like a double pronged approach. Like you shouldn't just get in the business and start doing YouTube videos and just like that's all you do because
Right.
you need a big nest egg for that. But like on the YouTube versus expired, if I look back and I did it this year for Business Planning for 2026, my expired listing like volume over the past 5 years, it's fluctuated and it's went up a little bit, but it's remained relatively stable, right?
Hmm.
There's only so far you can't scale a business to a certain point with just expired listings, right?
Mm.
You kind of max out at a certain point. You could do more. You could do expired texts and expired mailers, and you could do door knocking, and you could do more to increase that number. But it's not scalable in the same sense that YouTube is,
Right.
right? If we look at the growth of the YouTube channel, it scales tenfold every year, right? So my goal is to double YouTube again next year. I
Mhm.
physically can't do that with expireds without doubling my prospecting time,
Right.
right?
So with your YouTube, what exactly are you doing? It's because it's not just an individual house. You do whole neighborhoods, you do towns. Expand on
Mm-hmm.
that.
As far as individual houses, I've not cracked the code on organic growth with just home tours yet.
Mm-hmm.
I do a lot of those for marketing and boosting. I have two different YouTube channels. One is for our ads, and one is for organic growth. The YouTube videos that we do for the organic growth, I don't want to boost and market on that YouTube channel. That is all lifestyle, living in, moving to, all those fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because 157 people a day move to the Charlotte area. And what do people do when they are trying to figure something out? If they are trying to unclog their sink, if they're trying to fix their lawnmower, they go to YouTube, right?
Mm-hmm.
Same thing with people that are looking to move to an area. And I do it for vacation now too. Like
Yeah.
I'm going on vacation in Spain. Like, what are the cool spots in Spain? I go to YouTube and I try to like see an influencer that's a travel guy. So a lot of people do it. And then they watch your channel and they can subscribe and stuff like that. But then they pretty much know, like, and trust you without ever even talking to you, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And so it's pretty much a way to prospect 24 hours a day without actually prospecting.
Yes.
So
Well, and it lives on forever. So you're talking about a
evergreen.
town. So you have three
Mhm.
different channels. What's the purpose of each one again? I know one is lifestyle.
I technically have two right now. Next year, when we get into our new office, I'm going to have a studio in that office, and we're going to increase our content by a lot. And then we'll have three official channels. One is relocation based, one is ads and home tours. The other will be local stuff,
Mm.
just 100% local information, like a news type stuff.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's great. You've given a lot of nuggets to our agents getting into this as far as deciding what they want to do. I appreciate all of that. Any other
Yeah.
last minute tips for our peeps?
Last minute tips: the next wave is going to be AI.
Oh, yeah.
You got to
Talk
get
to
on
me
that
about
now.
that.
We have gotten four listings, four listings so far this year, just on AI. I've closed one because we started focusing on it in August. Used to be SEO, right?
Mm-hmm. I know.
Optimization of search engines to be on the first page. Nowadays, everybody has AI, whether it be Perplexity, Grok, whether it be ChatGPT, Claude, Gemini. Like, people are going there, and well, number one, either trying to figure out if they're looking to relocate, right? What's it
Mm-hmm.
like living here? They're just
Mm-hmm.
asking that. This is what I'm looking for. They're asking that. Number two, they're looking for who are the best agents. This is what I'm
Mm-hmm.
looking to accomplish in selling a home. Who should I be talking to? And so you have to have the internet presence, and you have to cater to the algorithms to show up there. So
Yes.
that's been a huge focus for us on the second half this year. And it'll be that, and YouTube will be the biggest focuses for us next year.
I agree. So I just heard in a class just this week that get your blogs going and make your
Mm-hmm.
blogs OEO. OEO is about answering questions. No, AEO. AEO,
Mm-hmm.
answering questions so that just like you said, this is what I'm doing, this is what I want, I'm looking for this. And so it's not SEO anymore. It's
Mm-hmm.
I think AEO. Yeah, AEO. And so anyway, so he was saying do your blogs, take your videos and turn them into a blog. Take the transcript
Mm-hmm.
and repurpose them, ones you've already done, and repurpose them into a blog. And
Mm-hmm.
because when you search on AI, it gives the resources and it'll do your YouTube channel, which will take them to the YouTube channel and they'll watch,
Mm-hmm.
or your blogs. And the blogs, most of your, like if you've got Bold Trail or whatever you might have, like we do with EXP, we've got three different ones. All of them have a blog section on the website there that you can build. And the same thing is do the blogs as well, just do them as articles on LinkedIn. And you will become
Mm-hmm.
searchable because I'm a big fan of LinkedIn and I
Mm-hmm.
really focus on that. And the same thing, you can do articles in there and make them on that premise of being searched like that. Because when people they're not going to Google as much. They're going into
Mm-hmm.
the different AI platforms and just saying, I'm looking for the best guy in Charlotte to tell me all about it. And you'll pop up, and a few others will pop up, and it'll give sources. And the more sources that you have that it can reference and see a bigger picture of who you are, the better.
Yeah, exactly. And that's so we have two different types of like web pages and blogs that we do. First type is every single video we've ever done has a web page or blog attached to it that we go through and just do a whole SEO dive on it. The next is
Wow.
the type that we literally just create for AI. We don't I'm not creating this blog because I want my clients to see it. I know for a fact probably nobody will view it.
Right?
And we do it 100% tailored to AI
Wow, I
because
love
that's
that.
extremely important.
Well, and that's a big component. AI isn't going away, and you need to learn it, and you need to learn how is it going to
Hmm.
intertwine in your business, not just in helping you write listing presentations. That's so small on the thinking of it. Well, this has been great, Josh.
Hmm.
Really appreciate having you on here.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for the invite, Kathy.
All right. All right, everybody. We'll have all kinds of information on Josh, so you can get in touch with him. All that'll be linked below. You can check him out on YouTube, Facebook, wherever he's got his social media for us, and be sure and do that. And we'll see you on the next one. And let's book a strategy call and see how it would look in your eyes. And if you're thinking, man, I'd like to have a conversation with Kathy Byrnes. Maybe I'd like to be part of this EXP company and see what it's all about. That sounds good to me. Let's book a strategy call and let's have a talk. No pressure, but man, it's worth a conversation. The link's in the description.